Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. There's Porter at you. Just happened to be in the area. Seen a wagon blocking the street. There's no emergency lights on it. And it's like in the middle of the street there. So I figure I'll record it. See what's going on in the city. And some cars are trying to get through there. I don't know if you can see them. But I did hear a call come through on the radio. So they're probably doing a report on an incident that taken place. But nevertheless, it's like right in the street there. So I figure I record and document what I see. I didn't hear the entire call, but it sounded like it was a B&E call, something. I think it was like a description of a white male with a black backpack or something like that. I didn't get the whole details on it, but we'll see if we see any white males with black backpacks in the area. The description was kind of vague. It wasn't a full description. Maybe we'll hear it when they put it across the radio.
Sir, I'm off the Tango 55 on a traffic stop.
There's nothing, sometimes there's something. So, I was actually in the process of doing something else.
Once again, we have an 11:30 to 4 o'clock early voting poll tomorrow. 4287 is the number.
Here to say there's not going to be, it's kind of dark out here too. Is it the street lighting or is it?
11:30 to 4:30 early voting poll, contact 4287.
Yeah. 11:30 to 4.
Yeah, the street lighting out here is not the best.
Thank you.
And when they install these new lights for the city of Boston, I don't know whose idea it was, but it makes the streets look a lot darker than they really are. Like, I'm pretty sure they could have came up with a better design. It only lights up the area directly underneath the light, but it doesn't cast any light to the left or the right or forward or backwards of the actual fixture. And if there's a tree in the way, it makes it even worse. The other lights they had before had kind of like a semi-globe shape on it, which cast it like out and around. So that's the difference of these new lights versus the older lights. And one day I'll show you the difference on the video. So I just figured I'd do a little footage today. Take a quick walk over here. I'm not too sure how long that wagon was there, but must have been there for some time. And a lot of cars been backing up and going around the other way because they can't pass through there. I did a video about the city of Boston wasting a lot of money on sidewalks that don't need to be repaired. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that should be repaired. Let me give it a better view of it. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's a trip hazard right there. That's right in front of 28 Queensberry Street. You know, there's a lot more in the city like that, but you know, there's certain areas where you need to do work, in areas where you don't need to do work. So I just want to give you guys footage of what goes on in the city.
I'll have EMS come back for you. Charlie 111.
Charlie 111.
Did the caller provide a name?
Yeah, you know, he gets mad, he can't sit in
I don't know if you guys can see there. That's a trip hazard there too. And that's from the roots of the trees, obviously. But if you're going to do it over, like, do the ones over that need to be done over. Don't do just random ones. Like this one here, catches water. That could be pitched so it doesn't catch water. You know, stuff like that. That one's cracked right there. But yet we have someone in the city of Boston that decides to do the ramps over for some random reason.
The 101 you still set up?
Like this ramp right here, this handicap ramp, is no different from the other ones throughout the city of Boston.
Still set up, sir?
But for some reason, they're doing them all over. Like, just nothing wrong with that.
Mass and wash for the EEP
Nothing wrong with that ramp.
Blackmail, jumping up and down, yelling at passersby.
All those ramps look fine. Nothing wrong with those ramps at all. And that van's gonna wait there for a while until that wagon decides he wants to clear up out of there. If I was that van, I would just reverse right now, unless he's actually need access on that street. Right here, I'm at the corner of Queensbury and Jersey Street. Now he's going to have another problem because he got another car coming behind him. And all because of that wagon that doesn't have its emergency lights on. If he puts his emergency lights on, it'll make it a lot easier for people to understand that I hear somebody saying something. I'm not sure if they're talking to me or not. Maybe they're talking to somebody else. It's gonna be sitting there for a while. Actually, the city of Boston has I believe it's a city ordinance where you cannot block a street for more than 20 minutes. I believe that's the exact time frame. Anything more than 20 minutes, you have to move your vehicle and come back around again. That's what I believe. I gotta check that out to make sure. I could be wrong. I don't know everything. Right now we're going on about 9 minutes, which is not too bad. Let's see if we reach the 20-minute mark, which we shouldn't. I don't think we would, but we'll see. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's like rats running in the street. I don't know if the camera picked it up, but I'll see if I can pick it up next time they run across. That's another everyday occurrence. There's rats that just run out in broad daylight. I'm not too sure where they went, but let me see if I can find them. There's like two rats that look like they're playing tag. Let's see if I can find them where they are. They were just running out on the street here. The camera might have just missed them.
Alright, we're gonna be on 20.
See if I can see them again. No, you might not find them now. They might have went further down. But there was literally like two rats that were playing tag. Let's see. There's always something going on in the city. I don't see them now, so they're not there anymore.
Victor K7?
Victor K7.
Delta 1-1? Down over at 20 Ames Way. Do you have a call on the board for possible breaking and entering or something of that nature? 104 now. Okay, one more, and we'll get us an ETA on the EMS, please. Okay, did you need another car there? Yes.
Now there's a bus
Give him a hand, the rear of Dunkies, 169 North
that, well, he's not coming down here now.
I'm going.
Once he starts coming down here, I'm just
Charlie
curious.
17 on a prior for
I
1
know where he's gonna go.
Okay, this gentleman indicated that he called. Might be a language issue as well. We're going to check it out.
Acknowledge, sir. You said 20 Ames Street. I have it.
Did you need them to step it up as well? Nope. Okay. Charlie 817?
817.
Were you looking for me, man?
No, it's that I had the Victor K7 on a B&E at 20 Ames Street. He was flagged over. He was just asking if anybody had called in for something on Ames Street.
Yes, Steve, we're off dealing with that gentleman. I just wanted to make sure there's no victim here. Said he was following someone.
I don't know if you heard what he said. He said he told his partner that he's gonna loop around.
Victor K7.
Victor K7.
Ma'am, you could change that. It's not going to be a B&E. We spoke to the gentleman in the unit. I guess it's for noise complaint. Nothing's happened at this moment, but we advise them if that does become an issue to contact 911.
Acknowledge, sir. Thank you.
Now this is another busy area, like, of the city. There is a group home down the end of Jersey Street at the corner of Jersey and Park Drive, and I don't know, the times I've been over here, I've seen a lot of people hanging out in front of the 7-Eleven over there, and I think it's a group home for all men, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't really check on it, but if you look, let me see if I can give you guys a view. Once the wagon pulls to the side somewhere, let's see if I can give you the view of how it looks. There's always people hanging in front of that corner over there. It's kind of dark. Like, don't get me wrong, it's dark because of the poor street lighting. So, how's it going? Dark because of the poor street lighting over here, but I'm not going to give you too much of an image, but you're going to see people just hanging out in front of this 7-Eleven. And there's various different people. There's like homeless people. There's just drug dealers, drug addicts in general. Some people just panhandling. It's a different variety of different people over there. I couldn't even identify all the people. But every once in a while you see some activity. Every once in a while you see some kind of activity over there. And as far as I know, there's no actual city cameras over. They should put a city camera there. They put them everywhere else in the city. You would think they'd put one like right at this corner right here. Like, and figure I'd give you a little video of what goes on in the city. And there's also a mixture of college kids that are out here. The college kids are not really the major problem. I would think the drug addicts and what's the other ones? The actual drug dealers would be the more the major problem.
Sir, when you clear from the last, this code 24 at the base.
Go one. Sir, can I get 9 number for this incident?
And this, like I said, this is a busy area. It's a lot of people use this as a cut through too, from Park Drive to what's that, Boylston Street down there. So it's, yeah, Boylston is the furthest street down.
Room 1 out of the vestibule, 56 right now.
And then the street between Boylston and this street, I believe, is what you call it, Peterborough, Peterborough, yeah. And this is pretty much, for the most part, a quiet. I don't know if you guys caught that little rat right there. I have to check the footage later on if the camera picks that up. He's running underneath that tire of that vehicle right there. He's like a little baby rat. And see if you can see it when he's actually. He's probably gonna come back sooner or later. He's gonna. There he goes. I don't know if you guys seen that. He just ran across. That's a baby one. Those are the smallest of the smallest. So where there's a small one, there's probably a big one somewhere. One day I'm gonna come out with a brighter light so you can kind of see him. I didn't come out prepared for night vision.
Bravo 103, can you contact 9681?
It's pretty quiet tonight. It's not too bad, at least in this side anyway. Gonna take a quick walk around the block, see what else I see. Matter of fact, I'll take a walk by that that group home that's at the corner down there. See if anybody's hanging out the front. Usually they are, but we'll see. This is another issue too. I never did a video on this one, but the bus stops here. And the problem is the bus is wider than most cars on the street. So when the cars are coming down, they have to go around the bus. But in the process of doing that, they're almost hitting the cars on the other side. What I think they should have done with all this sidewalk here, made a little indent, like a three foot indent, or whatever how they call it. And so that made it so the buses could pull up to the curb a little tighter. And they got a lot of sidewalk here. Could have moved this bus stop back like 2 feet to give them enough area for that. Those guys are leaving now, so they're all set. They're probably gonna do a quick report and be on their way. It's another waste of money. The city of Boston bought these about 10 to 15 years ago. But what I understand, these things cost about 20, no, I'm saying it wrong. 200, no, wasn't that much. It was $2,200, I believe it was, for each one of those. They're supposed to be solar powered trash compactors, which is something of selling the product for no reason. Really had no real need for them. If you empty the trash on a regular basis, you would even have to do that. That's the neighborhood guy in the street. We know who this guy is. How you doing, Jesse?
Hey, what's going on?
Good to see you, my man. I'm everywhere.
You as well.
All right. I get to know people as I walk through the city. Actually, one day I'm gonna do a matter of fact. I always wanted to ask him questions. Let me ask him. Hey Jesse, you mind if I interview you real quick? You mind if I do a quick interview?
No, police officer.
No, I'm not a police officer. How long you been out on the streets?
As far as this stretch goes, or my entire life?
Well, your entire life. Just
Probably 8 years.
8 years. Now, what brought you out there? Was it?
Oh, can I be filmed?
You want to be filmed? I can put you on film.
What station?
No, this is my own channel. I got a YouTube channel.
Oh, I don't want to do
External Affairs. I interview a lot of people on the streets, asking various things about their life. If they
You
choose,
pay us?
I won't pay you. I don't have any money, but I could try to help you out if I can. What is your name, by the way? Patricia. Nice to meet you. I'm Nez. I see Jesse everywhere, so that's why I know Jesse from
God bless you.
around the streets. I was asking Jesse a few questions because basically there's an issue with the homelessness in the city of Boston,
It's getting worse.
and we want to know, like, try to figure out what the mayor is doing about it. Is he offering any programs or anything like that?
He's renaming a lot of programs.
He's renaming the programs.
I'm being somewhat facetious there with that. I think actually he's not renaming them. A lot of them are going away, and the ones that are staying under new names.
Gotcha.
It's and there may be. I don't know. I can't say 100% because I haven't followed it recently as far as what's going on. But typically,
I got the code 19.
when there's been a crisis to be exploited, such as when the opioid epidemic was first, in swing, there was some money that came from up higher than the Boston city government, state government, and it never really reached the ground. I know that there was. One time I was in ATR, Access to Recovery, which I don't know where the money is allocated from now, but I'm assuming, and I think I'm safe to do this, to say that it's still allocated from the federal government. It was about 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And anyways, I was eligible for it because I had been released from incarceration.
Gotcha.
Met the criteria, etc. And was seeing a therapist under it, and was supposed to be good for a year. And really was getting a lot out of the rapport that had been established between myself and the therapist. I've been in and out of homes and therapists and etc. So, not that my parents pushed me in these homes. I don't want to express that, but I made a lot of dumb decisions and I needed a lot of help.
Right.
And in those type of
Behaviors.
situations, especially for young people, for a clinician, it's really, it's new. It's all it's uncharted territory. Even today,
Right.
when you talk about recovery with younger people, what does a young person have to recover? Young
Interesting.
person's never been married. Most of them haven't had a license at their first go around of treatment. They've never had that. Most of them probably don't get their license until they're 18 or 21 anyways. There's not a lot to recover. They've never had it.
So
It had never been established in the first place. So I started going to self-help groups, which I think they're great, don't get me wrong, but they're not great for a 14, 15-year-old kid. It's the wrong kind of... At the time, it was what was available, and it was better than the alternative, which was nothing.
Papa,
Yes.
you're
Excuse me?
blocking the road.
Blocking the road. I'm being interviewed, but you should get this on tape,
No,
too.
I don't care about
Yeah, no, this is YouTube channel right here.
I don't care. I'm not saying about YouTube channel. This is people is getting on the road. You can go out on the other side and
I'm
you can
blocking
stop.
the entryway right there? Okay.
I don't care about the YouTube channel.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah, just move away over there. It's people getting in.
You're blocking the guy from getting out.
Yeah, I know. I don't. Don't worry about them, my guy. Just get out from here.
well, he could say it in
That's,
a nicer manner.
That's essentially.
Yeah, there's a nicer.
No, that's how every home is put.
There's a nicer way of saying it too, though. Like me, I try to be a.
Loitering. I was a customer.
Yeah.
When you came up, I was eating something that I had gotten from 7-Eleven.
Yeah, and I know you as a respectable guy. I see you around the city, so I see you everywhere.
The majority of the people who come here in the beginning of dealing with this 7-Eleven particularly are respectful.
Right.
Not all of them, but the majority of them are, and become rather cynical. It's very easy. You saw what that was right
Yeah.
there.
Well, me personally, I would have said, "Excuse me, sir. Can you please not block the entrance?"
Certainly.
And then obviously you'll get more of a kind of response out of that. But everybody's entitled to their own ways of
Well, and I
being.
was also trying to give him a warning that it was being filmed and it was going to go on a YouTube video. And
Oh, yeah.
Instead of paying heed to that because he's an employee
Right.
of the 7-Eleven on Jersey Street here in Boston, Massachusetts, and knew that was probably going to be mentioned, especially if he acted that way.
So it's definitely going on YouTube for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though, is why would, if I was in that position, I would think that most anybody who an employer would want to have working for them and
Right.
representing their company, especially one that just became a franchise 7-Eleven, like this
Okay.
one did very recently.
Oh wow.
I would think that they would want to. If I was that guy and he did that for me, I would have loved that he did that because it would give me the opportunity to put my best foot forward.
Right.
I wouldn't be not necessarily thinking I'm going to get a raise or anything like that, but I would have, done my best to represent the company as best I could.
I hear you.
I used to hear examples of that. People would say you may be the only example of recovery that anybody sees today. So remember that, And
I got a question for you. What do you think the city could do better to help people with the homeless issues out here? I know they offer some programs, but do you think there's enough programs out there?
I don't. Well, that would be more for somebody. I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I will say that I think that every time there's a bump in the road with the programs that they have, they change them.
Okay.
And what that does to most people who already suffer from some kind of post-traumatic stress disorder, as it is.
Oh, there's a lot of that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are self-medicating.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So if a rapport is established in a comfort zone, I'm easy talking to people about anything that doesn't have to do with emotion. All right. If you were asking me to explain this to you as you were a 5-year-old, I would be stumbling over my words right now. I wouldn't be able to.
You're doing a good job, buddy.
But you gave me a compliment right there, and I didn't know what to say. You see that? There's a prime example right there.
No, you're doing a good job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm just trying to show where my I don't want to come across like either people are going to think I'm full of shit because I can talk good, but obviously I'm out here in the streets in front of 7-Eleven.
Right. Gotcha.
And I don't want to come across as somebody else on the other side of me say, well, he's obviously had some good treatment, he's fine. No, I'm not fine. That's why I was saying.
Well, we all could use help. Trust me.
Sure.
We all, whether we know it or not, we all have some help that we can use. We may not have the right resources, but we could use some sort of help.
It's not just help. It's
assistance, anything.
It's also, like I say, like back to what I was saying about the bump in the road, is that once when that happens, not only are you disrupting people who are in the beginnings of something, which they may just probably are just at the point where they're saying, they're giving it a shot. They're in the contemplation stage,
Right.
okay,
Yep.
about whether or not they're going to personally commit to it.
Mhm.
So you do that enough times to people, and sometimes all it is once, and they're going to say,
You know what?
"Screw this, never again."
You're absolutely right about that.
Um,
And a lot of people don't see it that way.
Well, they see it as well. This person, if they want to get their life together, that's still it's still an idea. I think that it's going to be a long time before we can weed that out of everybody, myself included. I'm not used to the idea yet. There are so many people who are willing to help,
Mhm.
because for a long time there wasn't, and so immediately my first thought when asked about stuff like this is to either be either to be honest
Uh-huh.
for the purpose of shock value, or to lie.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? But
Gotcha.
but I don't have to do that anymore. Not with everybody. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
There may be some situations in order for protection that I need.
Right,
But,
I understand, yeah.
But people are, I've had a lot of people who I never would have gotten this from before the opioid epidemic happened. Who they would see me and they'll ask me,
Mhm.
"You get a habit?"
Yeah, that changed a lot of people's lives too.
Yeah.
A lot of
It
lives.
opened a lot of minds.
It broke up a lot of families too. A lot of families.
Oh, the opioid? Yeah,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
it did. I'm talking about the awareness that happened from it.
Oh, okay,
But,
gotcha.
I mean, there's a silver lining to everything, so to speak, and I'm not trying to, I don't want to blow sunshine up anybody's ass, because there's a lot, there was a lot more, and there still is,
Right.
a lot of, but the awareness is, it's a good step, the first step,
Right.
I, and I think that ongoing treatment is when somebody is in remission from cancer after going through treatment, they continue to go to follow-up appointments for
Right.
years and years.
You need
and
some
years.
therapy. You need counseling, follow-up treatments, everything, tests, everything.
And what happens when somebody gets out of, even let's say somebody who's gone to detox, a 28-day program, and then a 6 to 9 month halfway house, and then even another 3 month, 3/4 house.
Right.
Gotten money in the bank, gotten the job, instead of gotten ready to come back out here and hit the streets running, so to speak. Go to some meetings and maybe see a therapist once or twice a month, if your insurance will pay for it.
Right.
Twice a month. And that's not, addiction kills people probably faster than cancer.
I will agree on that.
So why is it that the powers that be, and I don't mean government, I'm talking about, more insurance companies don't.
Well, it's all about the money.
Of course it is.
It's
Of
about
course
the
it
money.
is. But that's wrong, and we all know that it's wrong, and yet we still allow it to happen. And the thing is, it's we've all known for many, many, many years that the way that we treated our environment was wrong,
Mhm.
and we knew that something horrendous was going to happen eventually. We've been talking about it, and it's getting louder and louder for years now. I don't think there's a soul on the planet, or at least in the Western Hemisphere, that didn't know this was a problem and that we were going to have real issues with it. All right, and we maybe talked about it, but we didn't talk about it as if we were going to try to do something.
Right. They talked about it,